Piece that caught our eye this morning, senior political correspondent for the National Review, Jim Geraghty, writing a piece titled "The Chronically Underestimated Kamala Harris." Jim writes this, quote, "It is almost required in conservative circles to insist Kamala Harris is stupid. But there's this nagging complication. If Kamala Harris is as stupid as her critics claim, why does she have the Democratic presidential nomination and a roughly 50-50 shot of being the first female president in U.S. history? Do you know how many ruthlessly ambitious Democratic men and women have desperately yearned to get where she is? How many smart, tough, shrewd, often underhanded and cold-blooded Pauls have tried to claw their way up the greasy pole and fallen short? And somehow this supposed dunce managed to do it? She is particularly talented," writes Geraghty, "by another measuring stick, one that may be even more important in politics. She is exceptionally skilled at getting other people emotionally invested in her success. If Kamala Harris is such a hapless dunce, how does she keep getting so many other people to work around the clock to elect her?" Caddy K, that appearing in the National Review, obviously a conservative publication. Jim Geraghty, I'm sure, has many disagreements with Kamala Harris on policy and has written about them, but suggesting here that Kamala Harris is underappreciated and underestimated.
I love the piece. It made me laugh even when you were reading it. I hadn't seen it before, Willie, so thank you. You've cheered up my morning.
There you go.
Look, I mean, to some extent, this is, I think, what... And I was interested to see that he says, look, there have been a lot of ambitious men and women, but it is a factor of being a woman in public life that you do tend to be underestimated. And I do wonder, and this is something that I know that the campaign is wondering about and worrying about because it's very hard to measure, how many people there are out there casting their ballot who may be using things like she's not ready or she's not tough enough or she hasn't got the policies as kind of code for I don't really feel ready to vote for a woman. The campaign will never say this. They don't want to have any suggestion out there that they think there is sexism out there. But I was out in Pennsylvania this weekend going around with some people who were door knocking for the Harris campaign. And we came across a young group of Hispanic men who said, look, she's not going to be respected by foreign leaders in the Middle East because she's a woman. And so I can't possibly vote for her because she isn't tough enough and Donald Trump is so strong. And I think there is some of that. Jim Geraghty sort of getting at that, I think, without saying it explicitly, but there is a feeling amongst some voters, still some ambivalence about whether, you know, they feel that they can vote for a woman, and women do tend to be underestimated. They perform very well, but they are often underestimated when they're in a position like this.
You know, Mika, we always talk about here about how we joke about how Democrats catastrophize. A New York Times Siena poll comes out, and the billing rates of psychiatrists up and down Fifth Avenue and on the Upper West Side skyrocket. Republicans are really, though, in the age of Trump, just the opposite. And Jim Geraghty gets to the heart of this.
Yeah.
They always start popping the champagne corks in the first inning. And they're repeatedly shocked that they lose, repeatedly shocked that they lost in 18, that they lost in 19. That they lost in 20, that they lost in 22. And after the 22 election, Newt Gingrich went on Fox News and he said, hey, we keep underestimating Biden. We keep underestimating the Democrats. And Joe Biden, he said, Joe Biden, he compared him favorably actually to Eisenhower and to Ronald Reagan, who were always underestimated, and it always worked in Ike and Reagan's favor. And Newt Gingrich was right. Biden was always supposed to be stupid, bumbling, dumb, too old. And yet they had a great, he won 20. And as Newt Gingrich said, he had possibly the greatest first year off election result in history. But this isn't just what's happening in the age of Trump. You go back to 2012, and we remember it very well. Republicans were popping champagne corks in the first inning in the Romney versus Obama race. And they were so certain that Mitt Romney was going to win. And they repeated it in this echo chamber so long that on election night, Mitt Romney and Ann didn't believe it. On Fox News, some of the smartest minds in Republican politics said this can't be happening. Obama cannot be winning. This is impossible. But because they were in that echo chamber, they didn't see what was coming. And I think Jim brings up a great point here. Kamala Harris, always underestimated. Please find another politician who, in this AP poll, you see her favorability ratings are plus. She somehow, like Joe Biden, she somehow manages to win despite the fact Republicans constantly underestimating her.
Well, and also just for balance, given this tenuous time the country is in, it's important never to underestimate Donald Trump.
Of course not.
Especially with the tactics.
And Democrats don't, right?
They don't.
They're catastrophizing.
But what Jim Garrity wrote is there were so many things that were valuable about it and validating, especially for women. Kamala Harris is a woman who has been waiting a long time, I would say all of her life, to prove to the world that they're wrong about a woman's ability to step up and get the job done. And I'll go backwards, but I'll start. It's hard not to start with the debate. No man has been able to do what she has done, to Jim Garrity's point. No man. They dreamed of it.
Not even
They
close.
dreamed of it in their wildest dreams. None of them ever came close to what she did. She decimated him in the debate. As a prosecutor, as the attorney general, as a senator, as the vice president, she has broken barriers. She has done jobs that men dream of. And now as the Democratic nominee, I think that's such a great point to make. And many women in America are watching her, Republicans, Democrats, independents. They're watching her because they're in a different reality than men, although a lot of men who care about them get it. And that is that they're facing a health care crisis. They are being denied access to life-saving health care right now in their lives. Their daughters are being denied life-saving health care, access to it, because of Donald Trump. So not only are they seeing Kamala Harris step up in ways that men have not been able to do against a tyrant, against a fascist wannabe, against someone who is threatening this democracy, she's stepping up for us and proving that she cares about what has happened in this country because of what Donald Trump has already proven he can do, and that is deny freedoms. So she's proving he's almost 80 and unfit. She's 60, fit and ready to do the job.